Okay, I haven't done a video like this for a while. Forever. Too bright. How's this? You're not even like a wiener dog anymore, you're like a sausage dog. What's up everybody? So today's video is talking about overthinking. It is a big part of who I am and something that I do that maybe I don't talk about a lot. I tweeted about it and it seemed to have a really good response, which made me feel like there's a lot of people out there that overthink. You guys, 7 tips. I'm gonna talk through them so it makes sense to you that if you are an overthinker, I'm sure some of these will help you. Overthinking's funny because we often do it thinking it's gonna help us realize every situation and we're gonna be prepared for every outcome, when in reality it makes it so much worse because we can't possibly prepare for every outcome. A lot of them contradict each other. 99% of the time they're very unrealistic situations that would never happen. 7 tips to hopefully help you guys. Tip number 1. When the opportunity arises where one of your friends or family has an issue, try and help them. By helping them, it's gonna give you a new perspective. And perspective is everything with overthinking. Which brings me to tip number 2. Get a new perspective, not another opinion. Okay, I like how I worded that. That's gotta be quoted on a t-shirt or something, I don't know. Now what this one means is you could ask all your friends and all your family for help. But the problem is they're all gonna give you their opinion and it really just overcomplicates it. In fact, it might even give you more situations to overthink about. You need somebody to kind of say, well, hold on, why are you even thinking about that? Because that's not really something that would ever happen. And like, let's look at the odds of that happening. Tip number 3, you need to realize that you will never reach a final decision. I'll overthink in hopes that I find a situation that I'm super comfortable with, that I'm like, yes, that's what I'm gonna do, that's how I'm gonna respond, that's how I'm gonna act. Overthinking will never allow you to have a final decision. Tip number 4, overthinking doesn't really lead to anything positive. In fact, it just gives you more options. Most of those options would never actually happen. Filling up your brain and your mind with all this wasted thought that would never happen. Overthinking doesn't necessarily lead to you feeling better or you being more prepared for a situation. It's just a exercise at your brain. It's just a treadmill. Tip number 5, try to be aware of your overthinking. Try to catch yourself and be like, oh, okay. You know, I know what's happening here. And once you know, it's not as bad. Tip number 6, distract your mind. Get a hobby, play a video game, read a book, play a sport, do something that occupies your brain so you're not constantly inside your head thinking of pointless situations. And most of the time, it starts with such a stupid thought. Eventually builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and it becomes this situation now that I'm dealing with that affects my mood and affects my happiness. Stop that build by distracting yourself with a hobby. Because eventually you're gonna build, oh, you're distracted. You're gonna start to forget. Tip number 7, look at the bigger options, okay? Feel out the ridiculous options. Take the most ridiculous thought in your head or the one that's causing you the most tension inside and look at it and say, okay, what are the odds? If you overthink, a lot of us view it as a negative, a flaw. But in reality, overthinking is actually an advanced technique that we have. It's actually an advanced technique, here's why. Overthinking was like a car alarm, okay? It was something that let the caveman feel something that was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. It was a way of protecting them, trying to think of every situation so they were ready for every situation. But we're in 2017, and we necessarily don't really need that anymore because there's rules and laws in place and society norms that are in place. You guys need to ask yourself, is this the end of the world? Is this gonna matter tomorrow? Is it gonna matter in a week, a month, 5 months? Is it gonna matter in a year? Time heals all. So use that in defense. Combat your overthinking by asking yourself, if this awful situation that I've created in my head happens, will this matter in a couple months? And most of the time, the answer is no. Hopefully those tips helped you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know your tips in the comments down below for overthinking. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.